All right, title your notes as such. All right, and then write these down. These are ideas about opposites. If you can't read it, it says subtracting a number is the same as adding its opposite. The opposite of negative n is just n. To find the opposite of a sum or difference, find the opposite of each term. Okay, so for example, like in this one, if we have the opposite of a plus b, well, we take the opposite of a, which is negative a, and then the opposite of plus b, which would be minus b. Okay, opposite of a minus b, okay, so that's going to be negative a. Okay, it's going to be the opposite there, and then the opposite of minus is going to be plus. Okay, a couple more ideas about opposites. Negative n is what you might see here, but we actually read that as the opposite of n, just in case n is negative, because then the opposite could be positive. So 3 and negative 3 are opposites, negative 0.5 and 0.5 are opposites. Distributive property. Okay, this is just in general, this is your rule. We have a times b plus a times c. So we take to be able to drop these parentheses, we have to take the number on the outside times the first term, or I'll just call that AB, and then the number on the outside times the second term, which I'll call AC, meaning A times B plus A times C will get you the same result. Okay, so for example, if I had 3 times 7 plus 4, okay, it's the same thing as 3 times 7, okay, plus 3 times 4. Okay, because if I did the order of operations on this one, okay, I would go 7 plus 4, okay, is 11. Bring down my times, I can drop my parentheses now, and that's going to get me 33. On this side, order of operations says I multiply, 3 times 7 is 21, 3 times 4 is 12, well 21 plus 12 is also 33. Okay, so it gets you the same answer no matter which way you do that. Alright, so to simplify something like this, we take 3 times x is 3x, and we take 3 times 1 is 3. Biggest mistake people make is that they take it times the first, and they drop the parenthesis, but they don't take it times the second. Okay, make sure you're going times both of them. So in this one, negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x, and negative 2 times minus 9. Negative times negative is positive, 2 times 9 is 18. Okay? Negative 5 times 8, negative 40. Negative 5 times 3 is minus 15, and then we have our x there. All right, 4 times 3x is 12x, and 4 times 6 is 24. This time I don't have a negative out here, so I'm not going to change that sign. It's going to remain a negative. Okay? So this one you could think of a couple ways. You could think of, well, the opposite of a is negative a, and the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. Okay? Or if it helps you, you could put a negative 1 out here. Negative 1 times a is negative 1a, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So whatever way helps you better. This would be a positive 3n, and then the opposite of plus 5, minus 5. Okay? Combining like terms. All right, we're going to take it a step further. You already know how to combine like terms, okay? And now we know how to distribute. So we're going to put it all together in one problem, all right? So to get rid of these parentheses, I've got to distribute this sign through. So let's just bring down the 5m so we don't forget about it. The opposite of 2m, or the opposite of positive 2m, minus 2m, okay? And then the opposite of minus n is going to be plus n. All right, that's the distributive part of it. Okay. Then we're going to look for like terms. Here I have 5m minus 2m. Those are like terms. That's just going to be 3m. Bring down my plus n. I cannot combine them together. Okay. We got 3m and plus 1n. Think of it as m representing monkeys, n representing narwhals. Okay. We got 3 monkeys plus 1 narwhal. I can't combine them together. Okay. They're separate animals. All right. Same thing over here. I got negative 3 times h is negative 3h, and negative 3 times plus 5 is going to be minus 15. Bring down my plus 12. So now I've dropped these parentheses. I've combined this together. We're trying to simplify it, okay? Let's erase this part a little. Okay? And combine like terms. Okay, I've got an h, I've got a 15, and I got a 12. So nothing else combines with the negative 3h, so I'll just bring that down. And then negative 15 plus 12, those are like terms. Negative 15 plus 12 is minus 3. So this whole thing simplified down to this. Okay, let's try another one. So again, we need to get rid of these parentheses. All right, I can't do anything with the 7d yet, so I'll just bring that down. The opposite of 5d minus 5d, sorry about that. Opposite of minus y plus y. Okay, and let's erase part of that. Okay, so then I have 7d minus 5d plus y. All right, so I can put these d's together. 7d minus 5d is 2d. Can't combine it with the y, so I just bring it down. Okay, so try this one and call me over. All right, we'll see how you do on that one. All right, then solving equations. Combine all like terms on the same side of the equal sign. All variables should be on one side of the equal sign. Combine like terms, so all variables are on one side of the equal sign and all numbers are on the other side of the equal sign. Keep going until you have a singular positive variable equal to a number. We've done this all before, guys. We did this in chapter 2. All right, we're just going to take it beyond one-step problems. Okay, so a lot of those steps we can skip, right? Okay, combine all like terms on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, done. All variables should be on one side of the equal sign. Done. Combine like terms so all variables are on one side and all the numbers on the other. Okay, so that's where we got to start. Let's leave our variable here. Okay, so if it's x, if it's an unknown plus 9 equals 11, then to undo that, I'm going to minus 9. Okay, we did this before. This is the one-step stuff. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other to maintain the balance. Okay, x plus 9 minus 9 cancels out. It's 0. X plus 0 is just x. So we're simplifying. But I also subtracted 9 from that side to maintain the balance. 11 minus 9 is 2. So in this case, x equals 2. Well, we can check it. Yep, 2 plus 9 does equal 11, so we know x does equal 2. Now, I know you can probably do this in your head, okay? But I'd like you to show the steps, just like I had you do in chapter 2. All right, because eventually they're going to get multi-step. So on this one, again, it's x plus 9, but this time it equals a negative 2. So again, I'll subtract 9. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. That cancels. That becomes x plus 0, which is just x. Then negative 2 minus 9 is negative 11. So if I check my answer, negative 11 plus 9, yep, that does equal negative 2. So I know my answer is correct. Okay? All right, this is a two-stepper. All right, we did a little of this in chapter 2. So we're saying 3 times something minus 4 is 11. And to undo that, we do the adding and subtracting first, all right? So these are like terms. The 4 and the 11 are like terms. You could look at it that way as well, okay? They need to be together on the other side of the equal sign away from this x. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, so that becomes nothing. 3x plus nothing is still 3x. 11 plus 4 to maintain the balance on that side would be 15. Now it's a one-stepper, all right? 3 times what gets me 15? Well, to undo multiplication, we divide. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times x is just x. And then 15 divided by 3 gets me 5. Sorry, pen's being weird again. That's a 5. Okay? All right. This one, two-stepper again. All right, this has an x, this doesn't. So we need to get these guys together. If it's a positive 1, to move it over there, I'm going to have to minus 1. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Negative 27 minus 1 is negative 28. 1 minus 1, that's going to cancel. That's 0. Nothing minus 4x, or 0 minus 4x, negative 4x. Don't drop that sign. Okay, that stays with it. Then we have negative 4 times something gets me negative 28. So to undo multiplication, I divide. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. 1 times x is just x. Negative divided by negative is positive. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Okay, and we can also check our work on this one as well. Okay, if x is 7, well then we're saying 1 minus 4 times 7 is negative 27, sorry. So 4 times 7 is 28. 1 minus 28 is negative 27. We know we're right. Over here, X is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 4 is 11. So we know we're right. All right. This one has where we have to combine like terms. Actually, you could start this problem in 2 places. Okay, if you want to combine the x's together first, or if you want to combine the numbers together first. Does not matter, okay, at this point. I'm going to combine the numbers. So if I add 9, then I add 9 to over here. Those are like terms, right? Negative 9 plus 9, 0, it's gone. So I bring down the 2x minus the 3x. Okay, 13 plus 9, 22. All right, so now I've got to combine my x's. 2x minus 3x is negative 1x. I still have my 22 over here. Okay, then negative 1 times something. Well, to undo that, I'm going to divide by negative 1. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. 1 times x is just x. And then 22 divided by negative 1 is negative 22. All right, so on this one, I started by combining the numbers as like terms. Let's do, I'll show you what it looks like on this side where we combine the x's first, okay? So negative 7x plus 2x is going to be negative 5x. I could have started with that. Okay, now I've got all my x's together. I need to get all my numbers together. Okay, so if it's positive 18 to move it, I subtract 18. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, this becomes 0. Negative 5x plus 0 is negative 5x. 33 minus 18, okay, 15, right? Last step. Divide both sides by negative 5. That gets my x by itself. So x would equal 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. Sorry, that's a 3. Okay? All right. And again, we could check our answers. All right, you take 2 times your negative 22, subtract 9, minus 3 times your negative 22, and that would equal 13. Okay? Okay, so now we're solving equations with the distributive property. Okay, so we're taking what we did before with the simplifying expression, combining like terms, and now we're combining it with solving. Whenever there's an equal sign in there, you're going to solve, and you're actually going to get a value for x. Whereas back here, okay, we were just simplifying. All right, there was no like y equals whatever or d equals whatever. It's just simplifying your expression. Whereas here, we're actually solving the equation. We're trying to figure out what x equals. Okay, so what we do is distribute to get rid of the parentheses. Oops, need my pen back. 3 times x is 3x. Okay, remember you also have to take the number on the outside times the second number to be able to drop these parentheses. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, my x's are together. Let's get these numbers together as they are like terms. If it's a positive 12, I subtract 12. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, this leaves me with 3x on this side. This gets me negative 27. Okay, last step, divide both sides by 3, and x equals negative 9. Okay, let's try another one like that. You take your 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times x is 5x. And I set it equal to my 10. Notice I didn't change this sign, okay, because this sign outside was positive, so it doesn't change anything inside for your signs. 20 and 10 are like terms. To move the 20, it's a positive 20, so I have to subtract 20. Don't drop this sign, okay, bring it down. It stays with that 5, so it's negative 5x. 10 minus 20 is negative 10. Last step, divide by negative 5, and x equals 2. Okay, all right, this is a rule you're going to need. Write this down. It says the sum of the measures of the angles of a convex polygon with n sides is n minus 2 times 180. So convex polygon means all your points are out, okay? Polygon, you know what a polygon is. It could be 4-sided, 5-sided, whatever it happens to be. It could be a triangle. Excuse me. All right, so the way it's going to be worded to you is it's going to say something like, can the sum of the measures of the angles of a convex polygon be 540 degrees? Okay, well, if I go back here and take this, n minus 2 times 180, we want to know can that equal 540 degrees? I don't know, let's see. So, we'll distribute, right? Take 180 times n, take 180, okay, keep that negative sign in there. It's going to be 360. Okay? These are all combined, my n's are together, but my numbers, these are like terms, they need to be combined together. So I'm going to add 360. Okay, so I have 180n equals, let's add that together, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we want to know, okay, if I divide both sides by 180, that's going to give me n by itself. Okay, so 900 divided by 180 is 5. Okay, well, n equals 5. Great. Does that answer our question? Well, let's see. It says, can the sum of the measures of the angles of a convex polygon be 540 degrees? We got an answer of 5. Okay, well, let's look back to the other page. It tells us, okay, it has n sides. That's what n represents, is the number of sides. Well, can a polygon have 5 sides? Yeah, it's a pentagon, right? So we would say, yes, it can equal 540 degrees because it would be a pentagon. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, so we've got 900 this time. So same formula, okay, n minus 2 times your 180. We want to know, can it equal 900? Okay, so again, I distribute 180 times n. Okay, keep my minus sign. 180 times 2 is 360. Okay, combine our like terms. So let's get this 360 over here. Sorry. 180n still on this side. Okay, that's going to get me 1260. Divide both sides by 180. Okay, so 1260 divided by 180 is 7. Okay, so n equals 7. Again, n equals the number of sides. Can a polygon have 7 sides? Yeah, it can. Heptagon, septagon, whatever you want to call it, okay? All right, so you try that on this one and then call me over, and then that will cover the notes for today.